Thank you, Mike Bailey, for letting me get all those program notes out. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. Nice to meet you, too.
We've been talking on the phone now for the greater part of the month.
Sure.
Very commendable experience is coming up, Rockland Patriot Day.
That's right.
And tell us about your part.
Well, my part in Patriot Day is a community service volunteer for Rockland, and it's part of bringing a community event or community-sponsored event to honor those people who serve in our community, and to do that on a 9/11, which is the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So it's very special to all people. We all remember where we were at that point.
Yeah. It's unmistakable.
Yeah.
It's one of those events, like they said, I think the only one that had more precedent or people remembered was when the unfortunate day when President Kennedy was shot.
Yeah.
People always remembered where they were when they heard that shocking news.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this. I was getting breakfast in the kitchen and turned on the television. Somebody called me and said, "Look, just turn on any channel." And I said, "What?" Knowing that I was from New York. I saw the World Trade Center come down. It was right around the time the first tower fell. And I cannot tell you how many times I visited that tower. I was working as a messenger boy, teenager going to high school, for a Wall Street firm.
Mm-hmm.
Used to have to go to the World Trade Center all the time.
Yeah.
And this was the building where you went up to the very top, 110 stories, and there was an observation deck.
Mm-hmm.
All glass walls on one bank there. And you could see, on a clear day, you could see portions of 6 states.
Yeah.
And it was breathtaking. And it was quite horrible, having visited that place, to realize the decimation.
I think I was there probably once or twice. I went
Yeah.
to college on the East Coast and went up to visit, but really didn't pay too much attention. You know, you think those things are going to be there forever,
Right.
and you never think something like this would happen. But come 2002, 2003, I had the opportunity with a prior company that I was with to be assigned in New York City in the Lower East Side. And so I got to experience firsthand what community and bringing a city and pulling together, what that really meant, and what those folks did. And that's the same type of community spirit that I see here in Rockland today. Rockland has come together through the police and fire and all the community to put this event to commemorate that 10th anniversary of 9/11. It's just an incredible amount of people working on this right now.
So you've been to Ground Zero, you've visited?
I have.
Yeah.
I have, and I actually got to work with the Henry Street settlement. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, being from New York.
Somewhat.
It's the oldest nonprofit organization in New York City, operating in the country, actually.
Yeah.
And they have 18 different departments. I worked as a fundraiser, but one of my assignments was to teach inner city youth on how or what an employer is looking for. And in doing so, the first thing we would do, the first class, is have the students stand up. And these are students from, maybe 16 through 38. I think the oldest one was 38. And they would stand up and tell us a little bit about themselves and their name and so forth. And the most striking thing to me, or the most memorable thing to me, was having the first person stand up and just say, "I was a security guard in Tower 2.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he actually knew everybody going in and said goodbye to him going out. And at the end of that day, there was not at the end of his talk, there was not a dry eye in there.
Sure.
And it was real hard to keep on going.
Yeah.
But we made it through, and I can't tell you how many events were like that for me during that year in New York City. And hence, that's pretty much why I'm doing what I'm doing with Patriot Day. And I know that every one of our volunteers, with the Rockland Police volunteers, as well as our community organization for this event, all have stories just like that, or some memorable experience. And that's what we're out to do, is bring it back in the forefront on the 10th anniversary of 9/11.
Yeah. The organization, the police volunteers in Rockland, do a variety of things. They have the ID, the kids' ID, kits that they go out, and they also the volunteers will watch your place while you're on vacation. Mike Natoli is a great contact, and we've worked with him many times in the past.
Yeah.
Mike's community awareness about everything from counterfeiting. He has Secret Service guys come in to what not to do during holiday time, as far as leaving your house wide open for people to see what kind of gifts you've got, so they can then come and steal them.
Yeah.
So
the Rockland volunteers, those police volunteers, have been instrumental in this event. There's actually 120 volunteers in the Rockland Police Department right now. I mean, from every aspect of that department, or in every department of that police station, is a lot of volunteers, from the front desk to patrolling, just like you're saying with Mike Natoli.
Yeah. And I know that I forget what the exact titles of the awards are. Maybe you can help me if you know. We spoke to Chief Lawrence about it, and I know that Governor Schwarzenegger, former Governor Schwarzenegger, gave them a volunteer of the state award 2 years ago, and they most recently won another award too. So the program, which I think is about 100 strong, 110 strong.
Yeah, they said. Chief Lawrence said it was 120, I think,
Great.
the other day. Yeah.
Great. I mean, it's not only got local publicity, but it's also had some national kudos as well, which is great.
Right. It's an incredible program. We want to keep that going. And the Rockland, those volunteers actually do some great work on the side, putting on other events. For one example, the Canine Unit.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with
Yes.
how they raise money for the canine? We're losing or retiring our canine for Rockland, and had to, it kind of was out of the budget at this point. So the community volunteers, or the police volunteers, got together and had a goal of raising $15,000, but actually raised $25,000. So actually they just got their dog, or I believe so. I believe they got their dog yesterday.
Good.
And so it was a pretty good thing, pretty good deal.
Yeah. And if that sounds like an extraordinary amount of money to get a dog that's going to be in the police department, it's not. Chris Osborne, Larry Osborne's son, who is a dog handler and a trainer, we've done interviews with him in the past, and it's amazing the training that these animals have to go through.
Yeah, the last dog I saw, and I'm not sure about this new one, but it was from Germany.
Yeah.
So it spoke German.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they get them, apparently for some reason, the German Shepherds, which have always been used as guard dogs, even during World War II. I know that they were used at the Stalags, a little infamous portion of their past. They were used at POW camps to guard people. But they like to go with the European dogs. Apparently, for some reason, the genealogy is better, and they come here and they teach them all that stuff on the other side, and you got to learn German. Setzen Sie sich. Ruhe, that means quiet.
Oh.
Setzen Sie, sit down.
I thought you were from Brooklyn.
I am, but my grandma was from southern Germany, so
Gotcha.
I decided to learn the language.
Yeah.
It was really amazing, though. I think Czechoslovakia is another place where they get the dogs, so they don't come cheap.
Yeah.
It's hard. Now, what do you need from the community that we can get the word out to make your Rockland Patriot Day everything you want it to be?
Well, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about Patriot Day maybe and what we have going on there.
Sure.
And then I can tell you a little bit about what we need to get there. Right now, we have about 100 booths planned, vendor booths. We have everything from food to arts and crafts to art and financial services. We have real estate out there. We have new home builders. We have just about the gamut of vendors, and that in itself would be a big feat. But to boot, we have the Rockland Fire Department, we have the Rockland Police Department bringing all their equipment out, including including the police helicopter, flying in at 11:30 and flying out. It's going to be a big event. We have the fire, the hook and ladder truck on display. We have SWAT. We have the SWAT tank. I believe they call it a tank. Coming out, kids are going to be able to get in this tank and climb all around it. And not only that, but we do have the canine unit coming out to do demonstrations. We also have police motorcycles. They're going to be doing an obstacle course for us.
Good.
So we have all these demonstrations that are coming out that are going to be a big draw. Now, we also have something called the kids area, or a children's activity area. I guess that would be politically correct.
Okay.
Okay. And in that, Showmasters, one of our biggest sponsors, Showmasters, who is emceeing the entire event from 11 to 4, Showmasters is going to bring in bounce houses. They got this thing called Robo Surf, where you stand on the surfboard, and it's kind of like a riding bull, you know, but you try and stay on the surfboard.
Yeah.
And they do have a riding bull. They have a climbing rock wall. I mean, there's so many things that they're bringing out there for this children's activity. It's going to be a great day. I can't say that there's only going to be children in there, because I think some of those things are fun too. So
Yeah,
I
right.
might be in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know if you're there, you'll be riding the bull, right?
Not if I'm using this cane.